Steer the Line.
Touchdown!
With your host, Loud Esmond and Jeremy James. For the best takes in NFL and football betting, fantasy football, and the latest news, get ready to steer the line. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Steer the Line on a Friday evening. Thanks for joining us, whether you're watching on line on YouTube or Twitch, or if you are listening on KMET 1490 AM in the Inland Empire. We are here. Well, Loud and I are here at the moment. How you doing, Loud?
I'm good, thank you, and hope that Rocky and Christian and their outside producer down there are staying cool down there at Rams training camp.
Yeah, they are hanging out at camp today, having a good time, I'm sure. Got a couple of interviews that they sent our way, so we can kind of get a sense of what their day was like out there. Should we jump into those and see what they have for us?
Let's at the top of the show. Let's go to some breaking news stuff that I think is important. We'll get to the Rams camp coverage, which is exclusive to this show by Rocky and Christian. But I want to start with a really large development in Tampa Bay. Tom Brady is going to be without Gronk. I think the idea that he's coming back has pretty much been settled. He gave a quote a couple weeks ago. He's getting ready to go on a sailboat. He's like, "No, man, I'm done. I'm done with football. I'm not coming back."
Yeah, I believe him this time.
And I believe him. He's making money doing other things. Jeremy, the guy had the S kicked out of him. He blocked. I mean, remember he had that awful broken arm that wouldn't heal for a long time?
Yeah, for like 2 seasons or something like that.
Yeah, he's had a myriad of different injuries, concussions, back problems, broken bones. Enough. You know, I mean, how much abuse does a guy? Basically, if you don't have to get in a car wreck 30 times over an hour and a half to make money, are you going to do it anymore?
No, and I think he came back the first time because he was feeling a little good and it was a new situation. He wanted to play a little more football, but I think when it comes to the game, he has nothing else that he needs to prove or accomplish. He's done everything he wants to do. He's got his money, his body. He wants to just heal up and go enjoy life, and I don't blame him a bit.
No, I would be doing exactly the same thing, except I wouldn't be in the sun. I would be in the shade somewhere because that's just not my thing.
Hey, if you got a sailboat, you go sailing.
Yeah. You ever been sailing on the San Francisco Bay?
I have not, no.
Okay, dude, it's freezing. I don't care what time of year it is.
I wouldn't go sailing there. I'd go somewhere a little more tropical, maybe.
That is my sailing experience. Is with my uncle Maury Fitzgerald and his sons. He had a yacht at the yacht club there in San Francisco Bay. Man, I mean, you want to feel like you're in the Arctic. You go out on the San Francisco Bay on a nice day.
Tom Brady likes to party on boats.
Well, there's that too. All right, getting to the Brady news. So he's already without Gronk. Good Godwin is not coming back till at least they think halfway through the season. And now his all-pro center has gone down, they think, for the season.
Yeah, That's
after having to replace their all-pro left guard who left to go to Cincinnati after Tom Brady announced he was retiring. So that guy went, okay, I'm out. And then Brady comes back and his left guard is gone and the right guard retired. You now have to replace 1, 2, 3 people on the offensive line that Brady will never have played with before. And there's no way you're getting a center near the quality of the center that you had. They don't have a backup who comes close. They're already talking about who's out there on the free agency market they can still go get.
There's one name, really.
And is?
J.C. Treader. He was the center for the Cleveland Browns for the last couple of years. He's the president of the NFLPA, actually. I'm not sure if he's had a health issue or anything because I haven't heard his name much at all since free agency started back in March. If he's healthy, he's somebody I was hoping the Raiders would look at to bring in to kick it and kick, someone else out to right guard or something. Let JC play center there. But he's the only center out there. I think that it is the closest to a plug and play kind of talent. I just don't know if he's injured or just not interested in playing right now because his name has not been heard.
Now, in order to replace Gronk, they went out and picked up Kyle Rudolph. Rudolph is not replacing Rob Gronkowski.
No, it's going to be tough to replace someone like Rob Gronkowski unless you're getting a top 5 tight end or something anyway. But no, and the problem with him, he's 33 years old. He's been slowing down over the last few years. I don't know if he has a lot of juice left in the tank. He may be helpful around the goal line, but it's not the most inspiring of tight end signings.
They're counting on a rookie to step up and fill Godwin's shoes until he comes back. Mike Evans will be double covered on every play.
Well, they've got Russell Gage, who I figured would be the number 3 guy, or maybe even the number 2 until Evans came back, and then be kicked out to the number 3 guy. But they also made another signing earlier this week when they added Julio Jones.
Julio Jones has nothing.
I agree, but there's a lot of people.
What did he do in Tennessee?
A lot of people are putting the blame on the injury and the offense he was in. So we really
Stop it.
Yeah, I don't think he has much left. I think he's going to be the number 4 guy there. I don't think he will beat out Russell Gage for a lot of playing time this season. I haven't seen it in a couple of years.
The Tampa Bay over-under win number is 12. Are they a 12-win regular season team still?
With their defense, with Tom Brady, it's hard to say no, but it's also maybe closer to 10 wins because that offensive line now is going to be an issue. And Tom Brady, he's not the most mobile of guys. He needs some time back there. He needs. So they're going to have to do something. If they can go out and maybe pick up a couple of people, make a trade, and get some offensive linemen in there that can help and improve what they have from their backups, that's what they're going to need to do to make sure they keep Brady upright. Because if the whole center of the line is missing, it's going to be rough.
Yeah, because the one place Tom Brady cannot take pressure is up the middle.
Yeah,
he can step up into a somewhat clean pocket around the edges. But if he gets pressure up the middle, he's done. That's his kryptonite. All right. Rocky and Christian have been out at Rams camp all week. They brought us a couple of interviews they wanted us to play. They're still live out there tonight. Jeremy, shall we roll one of those?
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into one of these. We've got these guys talking to Logan Bruss. I'm not familiar with Logan Bruss, so I guess we're going to watch this interview and find out a bit about him.
Here we go.
Rocky Giordani, ABC News Sports, KMAT 1490. I'm here with the new guy, Logan Bruss. I'm 5'11", 260. This kid could put me in his pocket. You know what I mean? I guess when you're from Wisconsin, you want to grow up to be not a wide receiver, an offensive interior lineman, right? That's the way it goes. Well, listen, on our show, you're really, millions of Angelinos already know who you are already, because like I told you, we've been following you since before the draft, and after the draft, we've been talking you up. How, as an ex-professional athlete myself, I know the transition to the pro level can be daunting, really difficult. How are you handling the transition to the pro level? I know it's really early in camp,
definitely.
But how's it going?
It's going well. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of bumps in the road. Just coming to a new place like this, having to learn a lot of new things. And but yeah, I'm just trying to take it one day at a time. The older guys in the room, just on the team, the coaches have all been really helpful and just really supportive throughout this whole learning curve that you're forced to learn as a new guy. And It's definitely not easy, but I think I'm making progress every day, so that's all I can ask for.
Is it making it a little easier, your transition, having a couple of Wisconsin boys on the line with you, Rob and David, of course? I would imagine that you guys are pretty tight, and they're kind of helping you come along, right?
Yeah, just having some familiar faces in the room that have been
Sure.
through it before. If they're kind of established guys here. Just knowing guys like that have your back, and they're rooting for you, and they're willing to help you with anything you need is definitely a big confidence builder. It's just good knowing you have that support and that help when you need it.
Yeah. The question that you won't answer, and I know that, we have a little pool going on. I bet by next year you're on the left side. No idea if you even have designs to move to the left side, but if you think about that later, you understand my thinking, man. Do you have any desire to move to the left side of the line at this point in your career?
I would say no.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll have this conversation again next training camp, all right?
Hey, you never know. But
Yeah. Your boy David's got a contract year next year, right? He's probably you're gonna get money from somebody, right? Well, listen, Logan, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, and wish you good luck, man. Welcome to LA. The weather's a whole lot better here than Wisconsin.
Yeah.
No doubt about that, huh?
Yep.
All right, listen, we're gonna take it back to Lou and Jeremy now back in the studio. Thanks, guys. Look at this.
All right, thanks, Rock. That was a big dude.
Rocky is 5'11", 260. He looked like a snack for that dude.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for him to kind of palm Rocky and just
pick him up with one hand.
put a Rocky in his pocket.
That is the rookie offensive lineman, likely right tackle for the Rams. And, of course, Rocky's giving him a hard time. Well, would you really rather play left tackle? Because he played left tackle in college.
Yeah. Well, it's a different monster playing on the left side here in the NFL than it is in college as well. The kind of people you're going to have to be blocking. And, hey, if they found themselves a starting right tackle in the draft, good for them. Maybe that, you always want that for your team. You draft an offensive lineman, you want him to come in and fill that spot for the next 8 to 10 years for you.
Well, the show does a lot about NFL betting. And we just talked about a team that might be fading for people a little bit early. I see a lot of people saying, it doesn't matter. Tom Brady, as long as you've got Tom Brady, you've got a chance.
He's proven that, though. As much as I hate to say it, he's proven that. And I think the same thing. You got Tom Brady. You've got some weapons. You've got a defense. The offensive line's a worry, but if they're smart, they'll do something about it right away.
At some point, it's too much. Left guard, right guard, center, Gronkowski, Godwin. It's a lot to lose. And they're sort of in this position now where one more injury in the wrong place, and they're really behind the 8 ball. I hate training camp injuries. They're the worst.
Yeah, now, when I saw that happen, it was horrible to see for any team. A few days into camp and he's probably out for the season. That's horrible. So yeah, hopefully a speedy recovery to him, and hope Tampa Bay finds a way to fix it. They're going to need to.
Well, at least the NFL didn't get their head coach fired. So there's that by selectively leaking BS. Which didn't happen to anybody else, and he wasn't the target of the investigation. Water under the bridge. Anyway, a self-inflicted wound this week. Kyler Murray, it turns out, had a clause in his contract. You're already laughing about this.
Yeah, I put out a stupid tweet about it a while back.
Okay, good. So it had a clause in his contract that said, the quarterback must spend at least 4 hours a week in outside independent study. I mean, dude, that sounds like something you would be something between you and your parents in, junior high. In order to get your allowance, you got to spend at least 4 hours doing the homework, sonny.
I don't know. You want to watch Different Strokes at 8 o'clock. All 4 of your assignments need to be done,
Yeah, and it's a bad
childlike
look, man.
Well, they took it out today. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I know, but that kept the story alive.
Yeah, I know.
As a PR person, if I was advising them, I'd say, hey, training camp, there's going to be other stories. Just forget it. Damage has been done. Nothing we can do about it. By announcing that they were taking it out of the contract, they extended the story. Then, by Kyler Murray, unannounced, walking into the press room and holding a press conference, just him, to talk about how he's not listening to the haters. You know what? I need to talk to you guys, let you know just how much I'm not listening to the media. What? Oh, okay. And then the whole kind of pathetic, I'm erasing you from my Facebook page, kind of like you do in junior high to break up with somebody. Or, like, oh, I don't like you anymore because you're dating my ex-girlfriend. So it's so juvenile. And it all plays into the same narrative that he's not mature. It all sort of sets up as that he's kind of a petulant jerk who doesn't study. And then when you think about the fact, who is his coach in the NFL?
Cliff Kingsbury.
Who was his coach in college?
Wasn't it
Cliff Kingsbury?
Cliff Kingsbury, yeah.
So, the guy's been his coach in college and the NFL. And this clause gets put into the contract. Do you think Cliff Kingsbury didn't know that clause was in the contract?
I don't know.
Did Kyler Murray not know it was in there? Did his agent?
His agents, everybody had to know it was there, and they had to be okay with it. But, what I found interesting is when they did retract it, the statement they made addressed basically exactly what everyone was calling them out on. Because when everything I saw, people saying, okay, why are you giving this guy this much money if you need this kind of clause in the contract to make sure he does his job? Has he really earned that money? So the statement today was like, we removed the clause because we don't believe, we believe we've made our statement by giving him this size contract, whatever he said. So, yeah, I mean, talk about being influenced by the media.
Well, and then here's the thing. Did Kyler Murray read his own contract?
I would hope so. Or at least
apparently he didn't.
At least get the fine points from your lawyer.
Well, no, I mean, honestly, Jeremy, he was blindsided by this. That means he didn't read his own contract.
Well, he's not going to read the playbook.
Now, if you don't read your own contract, maybe you're not a guy that's paying attention to the details. Right?
Yeah.
So it all plays into this narrative. And you know what? He's overpaid. He's too small. He apparently doesn't do his homework. There's a rift between... Okay, if you're the organization and you love this guy, do you put that embarrassing clause in his contract?
No, but you also don't expect that clause in the contract to come out. And, they did overpay him, like you said, to what, $240 million they gave this guy.
Okay, so now,
there's
if
got to
I'm
be some
Kyler
kind of
Murray,
faith.
you know what I want to know? Who insisted on that being in the contract?
Yeah, I'd be curious.
Was it the coach? Was it the GM?
Was it the owner?
Was it the owner? And now you're going to be pissed. And he's never going to know who it was. He's never going to get an answer.
That'll never come out.
That is never coming out. He is never getting that answer. And that means he's going to be suspicious from now forward of the front office, of the team that he has now been paid a king's ransom to play for. I think it's a train wreck, honestly, in Arizona. His numbers without DeAndre Hopkins are not very good. He had to play 4 games last year without DeAndre Hopkins at the end of the season, and he was not very good. They had an embarrassing loss in the playoffs against the Rams. They got blown out.
He's got to start the first 6 games of this season without that same wide receiver.
Andre Hopkins. Yeah, I think Arizona is a mess. I think it's a dumpster fire in Arizona. because of all this. When you see all this stuff taking place, it just makes me nervous. Well, no, it actually kind of makes me laugh because I'm not an Arizona fan. If this was happening to a team I was a fan of, I'd be nervous. From the outside, I can laugh at them. There shouldn't be a football team in Arizona anyway.
Isn't it kind of nice to have some stability to sit back and just kind of enjoy what's being built the right way?
The Raiders are the adults in the room. You know what I mean? It's kind of funny.
It's been so long.
Yeah. All right, let's play one another. Let's go to the Rams camp here.
We've got Christian standing by with Jacoby Durant. So let's go ahead and send it out there.
Hi everyone, Christian Giordani for KMET 1490 AM. I'm here with Jacoby Durant, rookie for the Los Angeles Rams. How are you feeling today, Jacoby?
Feeling great, feeling amazing.
Well, first of all, you look great. You look like you're in NFL-ready shape. What did you and the Rams training offense did to get you in such good shape? What was the diet and what was the workout regimen?
Just really out in OTAs, pushing us to, be NFL players. We in the NFL now. It's not college. Nothing is given. So they just push us to be the top-tier athlete that we are.
Obviously, you have a lot of confidence going into the NFL, saying you don't back down from most challenges, saying you're not scared of most people. Who are you most excited to line up against with this season? I'm referring to what receiver would you like to guard this season?
Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp gets me ready for anybody. So.
Cooper Kupp. All right, but which of your opponents would you like to see?
Anybody, really.
Anybody. All right, one last thing. We all know you're extremely talented player. Where does your confidence come from? Is there a key? Is there a ritual you do before every game? Do you think you're going to invent one this season, or you're just going to stick to what you did in college?
Just stick to what I've been doing since recreation, playing with that chip on my shoulder. A lot of people counting me out as I, progress throughout my career, getting where I'm at now. I just take each and every day, one day at a time, and I just keep the same mentality to go out and do the best I can. Without God, I wouldn't be here. So, I trust God throughout my whole situation.
Well, thank you very much, Jacoby. That was a great interview. I hope you have a great and long career here with the Rams. Back to the station with Jeremy and Lou.
All right. So that's one of the new players, the new cornerback. Obviously, he's not the size of an offensive lineman. So, Christian was actually...
How tall is Christian? Because he didn't look like he was all that big for a cornerback.
Christian's 5'11".
Okay, so there you go, under 6 foot on the corner.
Well, remember we talked about this earlier this year, that the Rams have a bunch of not very tall cornerbacks.
Yeah.
And I talked about the fact that they're going to have trouble. Like Atlanta has, just off the top of my head, I remember Atlanta's receivers average 6'6".
Yeah,
and they've got 3 of them over 6'6".
Yeah.
So if they ever have to play Atlanta, their 5'10" corners are all in trouble because all those guys are going to have the reach and the size on them like you can't believe. Jeremy, can you believe it? Before this show airs next week, there will be a Raiders football game.
Football. Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
That
so
extra, that fourth preseason game that we all get at the Hall of Fame game that always kicks the preseason off. And it's the Las Vegas Raiders and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So some interesting points about that game. Generally a low-scoring affair. The Hall of Fame game has not gone over 33 points more than twice in the last 7 times it's been played.
It's
now,
basically a scrimmage.
Do you remember that the 2016 Hall of Fame game was not played?
No, I didn't remember that. How come?
It was canceled due to field conditions. They painted the field with the wrong paint. Remember?
Yes. Yep, I remember that story
hot,
now.
And it wasn't the right field turf paint, and it melted.
What a stupid problem
to have. And everybody was sticking to it.
Yeah.
In pregame.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers basically said, no.
Absolutely remember that.
I am not playing on that field. No way. So, I remember watching that, and they're like, well, hang on. They're gathering around that. Well, the game's canceled. We're not going to. I'm like, what? You
I remember because we were all so hungry for football again.
Yeah,
it was the first time we had it.
They put house paint on the field that day. It was just, it was crazy.
They went and picked it up at Home Depot.
Interestingly, the new coach of the Raiders has a record when he was with the Broncos for 2 seasons of 2-6 in the preseason. The coach of the Eagles, Jaguars now, Doug Peterson, has a record of 11-9. However, his first year with the Eagles, he was 3-1 in the preseason. Second year with the Eagles in preseason, he was 4-0.
Wait, sorry, are you saying Eagles?
Yeah, the Eagles.
Okay.
And then in the year that they
1 minute.
2017, they were 2-2. I believe that Josh McDaniels, along the Patriot way, doesn't give an S about winning in preseason. I think Doug Peterson with a new team is going to really care about winning in preseason. I believe that the Jaguars are going to either cover the 2 points or win that Hall of Fame game. And I think the game's going to go under 33 points. I think something like 17-10, 21-13 kind of thing. You got 30 seconds, Jeremy. Your thoughts?
I'm just excited to watch some football, and I'm glad the first game of the season is going to be the Raiders for sure. So I'm just happy to see it. Less than a week away.
Good to know.
All right. Yeah, if you're listening on KMET, thank you for joining us. We are heading out. We'll be right back here next Friday and every Friday at 5 o'clock, KMET 1490 AM. Thank you for joining us. And for those of you who want to, you can hop on over to YouTube to watch the last few minutes of the show. I think we're going to be cutting a little short tonight, but on KMET. See you next week. Go Raiders, go football. All right. So, yeah, without Rocky and Christian with us today, I think we're going to have kind of a shortened show tonight. Loud.
Well, let's do a quick reset,
right.
as they say in the
See how long we can babble?
The lingo of broadcasting. All right, so first of all, we both agree that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are maybe a key injury or another away from really being up against it, because they're in the whole interior of their offensive line is all going to be brand new now. And the center quarterback relationship is really important. And this guy playing center for Brady was called Brady's enforcer on the team.
Yeah.
If anybody got out of line with Brady, he was the guy that got in their face. If they weren't towing the line, if they weren't meeting their blocks, if they got too close to the quarterback in drills, this was his personal protector, and he's gone for the season likely. Chris Godwin gone for at least 6 to 8 games. Gronk is gone forever. How much more? Leonard Fournette, by the way, happy birthday. He just turned 106. So we want to.
And he weighs 306 pounds.
Did you hear that story?
No, from what I understand, he's in great shape. Now that he's in camp, he's down to his usual, right around his usual playing weight. But I guess he ballooned up to like 268. Yeah. I guess he ballooned up in the offseason quite a bit.
Well,
he's a big kid.
God bless the man. He's been playing football for 780 years. I mean, it's about time he, took time off and relaxed. He's like Methuselah. Anyway, so, there's probably like no people listening to this show that got that reference at all. Anyway, it's my classical literature background showing. So, Jeremy, Tampa Bay, are we fading them a little bit?
Like I said earlier, I don't know if I can really fade them, especially in the NFC. But it is going to be a struggle with that interior line being a bunch of new guys. It's hard to lose a center for anybody and be able to replace them in this league. They just don't make great centers in mass. So I don't know what they're going to do, but they need to find something then better what they have as their backup. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with J.C. Treader, if he's still available out there, if he wants to play, but that would be probably the first place I would turn to look.
Another team that has had some recent really embarrassing turmoil. Arizona Cardinals. Come on. Come on. Really? I mean, if you got to write something into your quarterback's contract that says they have to do 4 hours of independent study a week, it's like what? What is this, junior high? It's detention? And by the way, did you notice that they wrote he couldn't be watching anything else while studying the film or the playbook or playing video games while also doing it. He had to be only, I mean, that's like instructions you have to give a 12-year-old. My son, I have to go, Eric, turn off the video game while you're reading your homework. Stop it. That's what they're telling Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he needs a pair of those glasses that, look like the eyes are open on him when you put them on. That way he can just kind of chill with whatever he wants in front of his face and take a nap. Fool the screen.
Send somebody else in to take the test for him on Monday.
There you go.
Okay, so this reminded me of a story. Do you remember a guy named Jamarcus Russell?
Yeah. I think we all remember Jamarcus
I think
Russell.
I learned the term purple drink because of Jamarcus Russell. Explain to people, because you know the inner city lingo better than me.
I do not have the recipe for purple drink. I am sorry.
Do you know what it is?
I think it has something to do with Dimetap or something like that. I don't know.
It's Kool-Aid, water, and cough syrup.
Yeah, I think it's Dimetap.
Right.
Or whatever the grape one was that I used to love as a kid.
And who drinks that? My God, you're an NFL football player.
Oh.
You could drink
People got
the
their
best
things.
wine, the finest bourbon. I was going to say scotch, but I hate scotch. And you're drinking Kool-Aid with cough syrup? What does the matter with you? And this also explains why he weighed 780 pounds when he reported for training camp.
Yeah.
The guy was huge. I mean, I thought the Goodyear blimp was covering the preseason game. Turned out it was Jamarcus Russell.
I know he had that interview recently, too, where he even says something about how, kind of along the Kyler Murray situation, that he just wasn't a guy who liked to do studying. He didn't like to spend his own time, worrying about the playbook or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, that explains a lot, too.
Practice?
He just figured he'd go out there with his arm and chuck it down the field, so...
Yeah,
Kyler kind of feels the same way.
Sometimes too much athletic talent is a curse. Anyway, so here's the story. Apparently, the Raiders were concerned that Jamarcus was not really doing his homework because he was missing reads in practice that they had told him to watch out for the scout defense team. So they gave him a blank videotape and said it was game film for their next opponent. We need you to study. They sent it home with him and said, hey, when you come back tomorrow, let's talk about it. He came in the next morning and they asked him, well, how did you find the video study? And he said, I picked up a lot of great tendencies. I think I've got this. No need to go over it, but I'm good. It was a blank videotape.
Yeah.
He didn't watch it, Jeremy.
Nope.
So clearly, he's not a guy who's doing his homework. And the most damning thing about all of this, Kyler Murray's coach in college was Cliff Kingsbury. Kyler Murray's coach in the NFL is Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh, so he was a coddler.
So
he coddles these kids and just lets them do what they want.
How, why? And now if I'm Kyler Murray, you know what I want to know? Who the hell put that clause in my contract?
Yeah, we said though, we'll never know.
Was it the GM? Was it Cliff? Was it, who knows? And now he's going to be obsessed with knowing that. And two other things. Obviously, because he was blindsided by it, he didn't read his own contract. Dude, if I'm signing something worth $230 million, I'm going to take the time to go over the small print. That's just me.
Yeah, think like he would though. Okay, my agent got me $240 million. I got to sign my name, go play football. Good, done. He didn't expect anything else. Why would he?
But that means he's not sweating the details, Jeremy.
No, I get it.
If he's not sweating the details in his contract, is he sweating the details during the week? Or is he, coming in, doing practice, going home? And now there's going to be a rift between him and the front office. There's going to be a rift between him and the other players on the team because every time he misses a read now, they're going to go, oh, that's why they put that in his contract. This is a mess.
It's going to get referenced a lot during the season anytime he has a bad game or a bad read or a bad throw.
It's going to go on and on and on, and I don't see an end to it.
Yeah.
And when you have that kind of turmoil, all that CRAP going into the I don't like it. I don't like teams that have issues like that. It worries me. If I was a fan, I'm kind of fading Tampa Bay. I'm definitely fading Arizona in my expectations. And, that's
who you got left in the NFC. I mean, beyond the Rams.
The Rams. I like the Rams. Good coach, good quarterback. Even better skills players than they had last year. Yes, they lose Von Miller, and they still have a very good defense.
Yeah.
Although their cornerbacks are short, which, you got to watch out for them playing teams that have a bunch of really tall receivers.
Hopefully they're athletic.
Yeah, hopefully. God. Other than the Rams in the NFC, I'll tell you what, my dark horse to make the AFC Championship game in the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Really? I like the Eagles too. I just didn't think. I thought you were so anti. What the kid's name escaped? Yeah, it's Jalen Hurts. I thought you were just so anti that you didn't give them a shot.
Look, they're building an offense around him instead of trying to make him into somebody else. They can play defense. They added some good skill players.
Oh, he's got some great targets.
What?
He's got some great targets.
He's got some great targets.
Some great wide receiver on the outside and Smith and Brown. Yeah, the
good
tight
offensive
end.
line.
Yeah.
Strong coaching. Do I believe in the Dallas Cowboys? No. I think they've taken a step back. I think Zeke is on his way out. Amari Cooper wasn't great, but he at least took some heat off CeeDee Lamb. Now CeeDee Lamb's going to get double covered on every play. What do they have at tight end? Dallas Goedert. Okay, it's okay. You're asking Dak Prescott to do more than he's ever done before, and I'm just not sure he's that guy. New York Giants? Really?
Yeah, I have no idea what to expect out there. Honestly, you still got Daniel Jones. You got Barkley. He's going to be healthy. He's got a whole mess of receivers and who's going to step out of that group. I expect the offense to look different with the new coach, but I just have no idea what to expect
I
there.
can't even remember who the next team in the NFC East is. Dallas, Philadelphia.
The Washington
Giants.
Commanders.
Oh, forget it. Stop it.
That's who it is.
Chase Young, by the way, is going to miss the first 4 to 6 games.
Yeah.
Their best defensive player.
Yeah. No,
and they overpaid that wide receiver, McLaurin. Big time. He's a nice talent. Is he worth that money? No.
I think he's part of his issue is his quarterbacks. If he was playing with a top 5 or 10 quarterback, I think his numbers would, catches, yards, touchdowns, everything would bump up a bit. But I don't think it's all him. He's a talented kid.
No, it isn't all him, but I'm just saying when you look at the NFC East,
yeah,
who's coming out of there?
Yeah, I like Philly.
You know what? I very much think it could be the Eagles. Now, that means the Eagles have to get past. Let's say the Eagles win their division, and I'll go with you. Tampa Bay wins their division. They're the two top, and I'm going to say Tampa Bay has more wins than the Eagles. The Eagles have to play in the first round. They get a wild card team that comes to them in Philadelphia. They dispatch whoever that is. Now, it's the luck of the draw. Does Philadelphia get the Rams coming to them? Or do they get, say, San Francisco with Trey Lance at quarterback coming to them? All they have to do is beat one more team, and they're in the NFC Championship game. And by the way, they're plus 2,200 to make it to the NFC Championship game.
Wow.
Which means you put $100 down for them to just make it, not to win the NFC Championship game,
to make
but just to get there. If they get to the NFC Championship game, you get paid more than $2,000 on a $100 bet.
Hey, if you're the kind of person to drop, a bill on a bet like that next time you're at your sports book, I mean, I think that's a safe one. As far as having a really good shot at it paying off, I like Philly this year in the NFC to make some noise and win some big games.
So there's two teams in the AFC that are plus 2,000 to make it to the AFC Championship game that I like. The Tennessee Titans and the Colts. Think about this, plus 2,000 to make it to the AFC Championship game. The Titans last year were 5 minutes of horrendous quarterback play from Tannehill from beating the Cincinnati Bengals. If they beat the Bengals, they go to the championship game. The Bengals beat them. Is Tannehill going to be any better? No. Is he going to be worse? No. Is Derrick Henry going to be better or worse? I think maybe not quite as good, but Tannehill has better receivers now than he had last time around.
I don't know about that. He's got good receivers, though. They did a decent job replacing. But
Julio
you lose a
Julio
talent like
Jones might as well have been a hole on the field.
Yeah, no, but A.J. Brown is a really good receiver.
Understood.
That's one of the reasons I'm excited for him in Philly.
All right, let's say break even.
Yeah, because they brought in Robert Woods.
Right.
And then they drafted, I forget the young guy they brought in the first round.
If the Titans made it to one game away from the conference championship game last year, and they're plus 2,000 to get there this year, and it's basically the same team, I like it. It's not one I'm going to go, no, I'm not going to do that. So
that's not a bad one. And, I'm not I've got nothing bad to say about the one for the Colts either. That's a good team, and we've seen it. They just needed to solidify that quarterback situation a bit. And
let's be honest, Jeremy, as Raiders fans, the only reason the Raiders won that game that put them in the playoffs against the Colts because Carson Wentz vapor locked.
Yeah, he did. And we've seen the Raiders play against Matty Ice, and he's usually either really tough or whoops them. So he's going to be a good quarterback for the Colts. And I think, with
what is the best thing to give an aging, immobile quarterback?
An offensive line and running game. Yeah.
And they got both.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor's probably the top back heading into this season. He's got Michael Pittman, who came on big last year.
Football pick, don't you?
What's that?
Jonathan Taylor, isn't he's the number one consensus fantasy football number one pick?
Yeah. No, yeah. In probably 99% of leagues, he's going to be the guy that goes first. So, and he could be even better than last year with a better, quarterback and next new young receiver on the outside along with Michael Pittman. So who knows? That could
So
be
if you are a team playing the Colts, you have to stack the box. Because and even when teams did against him last year, he's still the dude led the league in every statistically relevant category for rushing. Every one. 80-plus yard runs, 40-plus yard runs, 20-plus yard runs, 10-plus yard runs, touches, and yards from scrimmage. He had all of them. And they were throwing the ball too much, in my opinion, with Carson Wentz at quarterback because they had a coach that had a place in his heart for him and wanted him to do well. With Matt Ryan, what I think they're going to do is they're going to run, 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 they're going to run. And then every now and then they're going to fake the run. And I'll tell you, Matt Ryan is lethal in the play action pass game. Lethal. Yeah. And they got a couple guys that got speed.
Yeah, they can stretch the field.
You crowd all those people up into the box. Matt Ryan fakes the handoff. They pick up the blitz. And somebody is 10 yards behind you. I think that Indianapolis, is scary because they have a great defense. They have a great running game. They have a smart, experienced quarterback. And they've got some decent weapons on the outside. That team at plus 2,200 to just make the AFC Championship game? Yeah. When you're going to have two wild card teams come out of the AFC West? I like it.
Yeah, they were truly a quarterback away, and I think they went and got a guy that's going to solidify them for the next few years before he's ready to call it quits. But, yeah, they couldn't have got, I think, a better quarterback for that offense, that coach, and what they want to do with that team.
By the way, Jonathan Taylor, to win the NFL MVP, is plus 5,000.
When's the last time a running back got that?
The quarterbacks get it about 70% of the time. The next person in line behind quarterbacks is running backs.
The last time a running back got it was Adrian Peterson when he had that 2,000-yard season?
Right.
Yeah, 2,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, something like that.
Don't you think this kid could do that? He was at 1995 last year. I'm sorry, 1895 last year.
Yeah, no, he can have, especially with Matt Ryan back there and the offense running the way it needs to. If this kid wants 2,000 yards, he may very well get it this year. And if I'm the Colts, and as long as he's doing it, I just keep giving him the ball and just let him carry that team.
There's a lot of quarterbacks at the top of the MVP list, Herbert, Wilson, Rodgers, that I'm not sure have the weapons or the coaching to really be that good as a quarterback. And it isn't going to be Aaron Rodgers again this year. That's not happening.
I don't think so.
A $50 bet on that Indianapolis running back who
Jonathan
just
Taylor.
about – what?
Jonathan Taylor,
yeah. Would pay you $2,500 if it hits.
Again,
a $25 bet would pay you $1,275.
And this is this is the year to give it a shot. I mean, like you said, how close he got to 2,000 last year with some shoddy quarterback play. I think, like I said, with Matt Ryan, that offense is going to run exactly how they want it to. So yeah, that kid could definitely push for 2,000 yards. If he does that, hits double-digit touchdowns, go to the AFC Championship, and there you go. There's your MVP, possibly. It's a good bet. Definitely a good bet.
Yeah, I mean, for me as a bettor, I don't bet chalk very much. There's no value in betting the favorite. In horse racing, the favorite in the race wins less than 30% of the time. The big underdog wins less than 5% of the time. For me, where I'm looking for value as a bettor is who has a chance, a realistic chance, that's going to pay significant return. I'm a value bettor in that way. It's like, okay, yeah, I know Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and, the usual suspects are all less than 700 to win the MVP. But if I bet $100 on all four of them and none of them hit, I'm out $400. And even if I do hit, I'm not up that much. So I'm always looking for, well, where's that corner? Where's that edge? Where's that crack where I can work myself in and have an opportunity to win big, realistically, and not win that much? Anyway, we'll hear more of my betting approach as the season goes on. Next week, Jeremy, we get the Hall of Fame game.
Yes.
Raiders on the field against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who wins?
Raiders. I don't know why, but Raiders. Doesn't matter, but Raiders. Raider football. Raiders all year long. Yeah, I don't know who we're going to see as far as, starters and stuff. Maybe a few passes from Carr, maybe a few passes from Trevor Lawrence, but we're going to see a lot of backups. It's basically a glorified scrimmage, but it's still televised football. And that's what I'm excited about, especially since, the first game of the season, you get to see the Raiders.
You make fun of me for watching the USFL, and then you're excited about a scrimmage.
Yeah. It's NFL football on my TV screen after all this time.
Let's just put it out there. I don't believe Josh McDaniels is going to give a rat's you-know-what about winning this game.
No.
He has never shown that he cares about winning in the preseason. Doug Peterson is taking over a team that was a complete dumpster fire last year. I think they need a little confidence. So my belief is Doug Peterson will be trying to win this game. I think Derek Carr maybe goes out for one series with Devontae Adams. They get a catch. They're coming off the field.
Yeah. Let's give the fans what they want to see and then pull them.
Right. But then the Jaguars, they're going to want to win this game because they are a team that desperately needs to feel like they can actually win a football game. So I like the Jaguars +2. I think they're likely to win the game with, the Raiders kind of going, okay, whatever, good for you. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
But, with a young team like that and a new coach, if that's what they need to kick their season off, I understand that. He wants to go in there and show his guys that he's committed to them. I really like, the Doug Peterson hire for Jacksonville. I think he's a good coach. I think he's going to do a lot for that program and just the reputation of that team. I think he's going to not turn them into winners instantly, but give them a few years and he'll have them contending again.
Look, Josh McDaniels is 2-6 in the preseason when he was at Denver. The Patriots don't give a rat's ass about winning in the preseason because they know what it's all about. Evaluating players, not showing your hand, so you don't put anything on film that people can use when the games matter. Yeah. Doug Peterson is going to be motivated to win the game just so that he gets his players into a feeling of winning a game. Defense is always ahead of offense when it comes to training camp and early season games. The under has hit 5 out of 7 times in the Hall of Fame game in the last 7 games that have been played. I like the under. I like the Jaguars +2.
Can you make that bet at any sports book? Preseason betting? Do they all do it?
Preseason betting is open at all sports books.
Oh, okay.
They will allow parlays. They will not give up teasers or exotics. So you're limited to the money line, the point spread, and then whether or not you want to parlay it into several other games. My bet, Hall of Fame game, I'm taking the under and the Jaguars plus the points.
I'm just going to enjoy watching football.
Of course you are.
That's all I need.
Of course you are. We'll talk more about betting the preseason next week here on the Steer the Line program. Jeremy, take us out.
I want to say thanks to Christian and Rocky from out there live today in Rams camp, sending us some interviews. Hopefully those guys had a good time. I'm sure they did. And thank you to KMET, all of our fans, watchers, Loud, Jeremy James. I'm getting out of here. We'll see you guys next week, 5 o'clock. Go Raiders, go football.